there, I'm Melissa Batt, the host of Priorities on Purpose, a podcast for overwhelmed direct sellers who want to grow their income, audience, and influence without sacrificing their mental health and main priorities. Whether you're just starting a new adventure or you're 15 years in and have already climbed the ranks, I want to help you have the life and the business of your dreams. Can you see it? Can you feel it? Or maybe you thought you had it and something changed. Whether you have your entire dream mapped out or have completely given up on all the possibilities, I'm here to remind you that God is bigger than the little box we put him in. This side gig is part of his plan. It's not your sole purpose, but it absolutely has purpose. As a Christian life and business coach, I'm here to help you get out of your head and live with intention so you can enjoy what matters most without the guilt. More time to do what you love, more peace, more impact, more money, and opportunities to give to those you want to help. I promise to be your hype girl, business bestie, and biggest cheerleader as I share proven and simple strategies that will be sure to help you live a fulfilled life with a strong, sustainable business. Are you ready to stop chasing all the shiny things and get laser focused? Put your earbuds in while you're cooking dinner or folding that laundry, and let's get to it, friend. This is one time when multitasking is actually going to be beneficial. Hey, friends. Welcome back to another episode. Super excited today for you to be hearing behind the scenes. This is laser coaching that I did with Tammy. I've already uploaded the episode with Wendy. I did Wendy and Tammy the same day. It was laser coaching for the Breakthrough Challenge. The Breakthrough Challenge is a challenge that I do about 3 to 4 times a year. And we are going for the third round. When this airs, it will be just getting ready to launch. But the Breakthrough Challenge is about setting a goal, a very specific goal, and working on it one baby step at a time for 12 weeks. So the first 12 weeks, Tammy wrote a devotional. The second 12 weeks, Tammy got it ready to be purchased. And so I think we are in week 10 of that challenge during this laser coaching session. But I think that there's just so much good information there. As of today, this devotional is available for purchase. So if you're interested in her devotional, it's an amazing devotional. It's on the book of James, chapter 1, and it is for overwhelmed moms, which I know is a lot of the people that follow me. And so if that's something you're interested in, we're going to have the link in the show notes so you can go and purchase. And if you want to know more about Tammy, we will put that in there as well. Super excited for you to hear this episode. I will tell you the audio may not be like the best quality because this is part of a Facebook Live I did. But I think if you can get past that, it's really, really good. And it's really going to show how you can bridge the gap between direct sales and launch something into the world like a devotional. Okay. So without further ado, here's that episode. Okay, girl, let's do it. What's going on? How can I help you?
Well, honestly, a lot of stuff that you talked with Wendy, I wrote a whole page of notes because, it's a lot of things that I think I've been putting off doing. The staple posts for each month and those needing to be cyclical. We have talked about this before and I have failed to move forward with it. So it's just something that's a reminder to do that. And I am enjoying the emails that I am sending out, but it's also just that reminder too, I'm actually struggling with what I'm going to put in my email for this Friday, but this helped remind me I have this cycle that I take them through. And so this is what I need to put that out into play. And remembering that, I do send out a weekly newsletter, but I also, when people get my freebies, and especially because I just created a new freebie, I need to have that sequence so that they're not just getting that one freebie and then never hear from me again. I want them to have where am I taking them with that so that I can continue to nurture them and also then get them as a client or as a customer or as a host or whatever it is. So the biggest thing that I think I have, it's not even necessarily a question. I think it's, so with this 12-week thing, I had my schedule of what was going to be needed to do for each week. And I definitely heavy loaded the beginning part. I had all the things written out of what needed to be done. And clearly it's been jumbled around with a number of things that I did or didn't need to do. and even things that were not on here. But my point is that like there's the remainder of this week, which I mean, it's almost over, but there's this week and then there's only 2 more weeks for this like session to be over. And I think I'm starting to realize there's still like, I feel like the big chunks are done, which is great, but there's a lot of little tiny things that all need to be like taken care of. And I had like the big chunks on these weekly schedule. So I actually, when you first were doing your intro thing, it made me realize like, I need to break this down into truly like actionable steps and not just like the concepts, because there's little things that need to be taken care of. I guess I should say like my big goal that I'm working on is I'm releasing the devotional that I wrote in the last one. And so it will be available for purchase in 12 days. And like, it's so exciting. And like, I get super pumped and excited. And then I realize, oh my gosh, I still have to do this, and this. And there's only so many days and there's only so many hours in a day. And I do have a family of 5 and like, I have a household to run. So I am trying to still maintain my 31 business. And, I'm needing to like make sure that I don't miss any of these little details and little steps.
So you have done a brain dump and you now have all those little steps?
I've done a mini brain dump, I guess I could say. Like I've done what like initially came to me, but I feel like I'm possibly going to have other little things. So that's where I'm just like, okay, well, I'm going to probably have other things that pop up. So these things need to be cranked out in the next couple of days. Like what I preach is don't put off for tomorrow what can be done today. And so like, I need to figure out and take action on like specific things these next few days to knock those out so that say the last 7 days before this launches, I can do all of the other random things that I know are going to end up popping up that still need to be finalized. So
I think this is such a really, really good point for those that are going through the Breakthrough Challenge, whether you're going through this one currently or you're going to join the next one, because there will be another one. Spoiler alert, you didn't get on this one. You definitely want to get on the other one. But I think like this is a really good point because in the beginning, it is going to have like, especially the very first time you go through the challenge, like it's more of those broad concepts, right? Like you don't really know all those little things until you actually start doing it. And then it's like, oh yeah, done, forgot about that. Especially if you're like me, because I missed the obvious. And so doing those little things, like recognizing you need to go into like the more specific details as you continue through the 12-week challenge. I think that that's really, really important. So I love that you said that. And I think that you are right. You just have to do it. So what are some of those little things? And like, what do you have scheduled or like planned for the last few weeks of this challenge? And do you have time to do all of that? Or do you have to eliminate some things and prioritize?
Well, so the great thing is that, I mean, in the really big grand scheme of things, on my big bucket, like for this week, I had, am I going to be on a podcast? Am I doing a pre-sale? And like, those are both no's. So like, there's nothing on this week technically. So that's actually great because I can do a bunch of these little things. And as far as next week, it was actually just like really being intentional with my launch team and like helping make sure that they're getting the posts out that I'm wanting them to do and like following up with them. And so, I mean, I started that this week. And so that was one thing, but then also next week, following up with them again. So, I mean, while that is time consuming, it's not something that's like super time consuming. So what I came up with as far as like things that need to be finalized is there are a few minor updates that need to be taken to the devotional, like edit type things that I've noticed. So I need to make those edits. I need to save the new PDF. I need to attach that then to my checkout process and like test that and make sure it all works again and that I didn't unlink something, you know. I put on here as an action item since just that I need to send the launch team their post and like follow up with them for their thing. I want to update my Linktree links that are on my Instagram profile so that it'll be a direct for them to be able to check out with those. So if I'm talking on my stories, I can be like, here, go to this link and you'll be able to purchase the devotional. I want to have those things. I do have a domain. So I've actually kind of been meaning to look into if I have some subdomains that I can use of it so that I could not have to have them use like the full domain. But anyway, that is honestly, I feel going to be like the bottom of the list only because the tech stuff is what tends to make me freeze and whatever.
What I hear you saying is all these little tedious things.
It is. And it's the stuff I don't enjoy doing, but it's the things that need to be done so that things can go smoothly. I like the big, like, let's create a system and let's figure out how to do this overall. But it's the tiny little nitty gritty things that aren't necessarily fun. But it's also what's got to be done. So
yeah, I think it's just a matter of like saying 30 minutes, check, reward yourself.
Yeah, that's honestly what it's going to take. So I honestly don't feel like any of those things when I wrote them out. I think in my head, I was just like, oh my gosh, there's so many little things I need to do. But when you write them out and you look at them, it's like, well, that's only going to take me like 10 minutes. That one's going to take me not even 10 minutes. You know, it's just that I talk about this all the time, how we have this unrealistic idea of time that some things we think are going to take us 8 million years and then other things are not going to take us very long at all. But we might actually have them vice versa because it might be something that we're not looking forward to doing. So we're going to make it sound like it's going to take us forever versus, oh, that'll only take me 5 minutes. And it ends up taking you 30 or 40 minutes. Anyway, it's just, I think me writing it down and looking at it instead of trying to hold it in my head because I know better that like, I can't hold that much in my head. And then it just gets cluttered, which is also what I talk about, that get it down on paper, get it out of your head so that it's not making you not be able to think clearly. You know, cluttered space is going to just create that chaos. And so I had the chaos in my head prior to this, thinking about all the things. And now that it's down, I think that I can move forward with it. So
I'm so excited for you. Also, you'll have the satisfaction of checking it off.
Yes. Definitely a checker offer.
I just guessed. So what are you going to reward yourself with after you get these little nitty gritty details done?
Gosh, see, this is where I'm like not good at rewarding myself.
That's why I'm asking you.
I know, because I didn't even reward myself greatly after I even finished writing the devotional in the first place. You guys are going to learn a little something about me right now. So I obviously...
make a spreadsheet.
No, I'm not going to make a spread. I shut up. It's sad. It's probably similar what most people would be thinking. So I have a YouTube channel. So if you guys want to check out, you can go to YouTube, search Pursuit Over Perfection. I have a YouTube channel. This week's video, I just talked about my planner and it is September. I typically try to order my new next year's planner in like mid to late October so that it for sure is here before the end of the year. And because I had talked about Agendio in my video, I had like gone to the website and was playing around. They've got some new layouts that I was like, oh, maybe that one would be a nice one to try. So my treat, I guess, will be that I can go back to Agendio because I had to like say no more because you can just get lost in playing in the website and like creating customization. And so my treat will be you can go to the website and play for an hour or something because it's so silly, but I love to like create planners and things that have checklists and stuff like that I'll be able to use, but it's also fun. So
yes, I love it. And that is perfect for you. So that's what you get to do after you get these little things done. So which things do you have to do? Do you already know like the things that you have on the list that you have to do?
So I would say there are 5 things that are musts. The 6th one is creating emails, like a sequence for the people that sign up for my devotional so that once they purchase it, they have something coming to them as well. That one isn't quite as pressing. I feel like the other ones I want to have done. The other one, I feel like I have still 2 full weeks to get that completed because it's not like I'm going to send it out the exact day that they purchase the devotional. I think, like you mentioned, I would really like to have like 4 emails that go out to the purchasers so that they can like, maybe I'm kind of almost writing it down right now. Maybe one's like an inspirational one that's just saying like, how are you doing? Like it's technically the 4th day after you purchase this. And if you haven't picked it up yet, maybe it's perfect time to get started. The other one could be like, just like, have you shared this with someone? And is this finding value? I need to kind of brainstorm a little bit more on that. But if I finish these other 5 things first, I think that's what I'll reward myself. And then the next one would be get the email sequence, and then I can reward myself again. So,
yes. Okay. So I'm going to leave you with this question as we go, as we finalize this 12 weeks, we'll be starting another 12 weeks of this challenge. And so I think the question I have for you leading into this is what's next? Like, what do you do? Where do you want to take people after they've purchased the devotional and they've read the devotional? Where do you want to take them next?
Okay. So there's kind of 2 things that have been kind of bounced around in my head. And I have to say these things out loud, and it makes it scary because it's putting it out into the universe. One would be to create a secondary devotional. So continuing on in the book of James, maybe creating it kind of like a gratitude journal in addition to the actual devotional. So that's one thing that I've thought about. The other thing is that if you've followed me for any length of time, obviously organizing and decluttering is something that's really passionate about. And I feel like while there's a million courses or tips or classes on how to declutter, I think that something that I could give value of would be doing a course on why and the importance of decluttering and living that life pursuing Jesus and living that life of not living that chaotic life and how decluttering is actually going to improve that. Saying that out loud right now, just really, I'm sweating right now because I actually had mentioned that to my husband as well. And he was like, that's actually a really great idea. And I was like, oh, only because it's that means I might actually have to do it. So
listen, you wrote a devotional. You can do it, create a course.
Yeah. And God will guide me. I know that he will because he did it with this devotional because I was way more scared of the idea of when it was write a devotional. And I was like, oh! And honestly, the course thing a little bit excites me. So
yeah, I think creating the course is the next 12 weeks. You can continue writing on the devotional, but I don't think you would get the whole thing done in 12 weeks.
No, I wouldn't because I want it to be much bigger.
But a course, for the record, you see all the things that you're doing and how they go together.
Mm-hmm.
You have a YouTube channel, you learn to edit videos. In 12 weeks, you can create a course and have it ready to launch. And that could be definitely, that's passive income, for the record.
Yes.
And do you see how that goes together with 31? It's still...
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's still, and it's an additional stream of income. It's passive. You create it once. It lives forever. I'm so excited for you. Take a deep breath. Exhale.
I did take a deep breath. I just had an exhale.
Yeah, you need to breathe out because I can feel like holding your breath.
But anyway, so if anyone's watching, be sure September 27th, my devotional will be available to purchase. So
yes, I'm sure you will. Down for you and I. We're going to talk.
On the 29th.
Yes, on the 29th, we're just me and you chatting all things about your journey and how you got here. And I'm so excited for that.
Yes. Thank you, Melissa.
Hey friends, that's it for this episode. If you found value, I would love it if you could take a couple of seconds to leave me a quick review. While it may seem super simple, it is so beneficial and gives me the opportunity to help more women. Also, take a screenshot and share it on social media with your biggest aha today. Don't forget to tag me at Melissa Batt Official so we can connect. Thank you so much for listening. And until next time, friend, keep walking it out one baby step at a time because God's got you.